Welcome to the Ascension Academy podcast. I am your host, Tumai, and we also have
Audrey here. This is episode 6 for season 1, and during the season we're focusing on essential oils and exploring all things health and wellness when it comes to using Mother Nature's blueprint.
a little bit about me. I am your dedicated breath facilitator and coach, helping you raise awareness within your body and breathing mechanics.
And a bit about me, I'm your in-house aromatherapist and essential oil coach, and I'm here to help you gain some insight into the incredible potential that Mother Nature has to offer up from her toolbox.
Today's topic, balance your hormones and ignite your libido naturally. Well, welcome to today's episode. Obviously, we're going to be talking about some super special topics. For those of you that are listening on the podcast via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we're going to be doing our best to describe what we see on screen. We're also streaming live to our dedicated members on Facebook. Feel free to add us to be a part of this experience live. If you have questions, to drop down into the comments box. Today in particular, we're going to be focusing on 6 main topics or areas to give you a bit of a table of contents. Number 1, we're focusing on the importance of hormone balance and how it's linked to healthy libido and fertility. Number 2, we're talking about how essential oils play a vital role in achieving these goals.
Yep. Number 3, what are some of the symptoms of hormone imbalance that we should look out for early on? And number 4, what causes hormone balance? What are some things that are happening in your life that could be causing that?
The last 2 topics, we're going to be focusing on how do we remedy hormone imbalance sustainably, and very last, practical tips on how to use essential oils for hormone balance and healthy libido. Super fascinating. I think for me, being a part of Audrey's life as a guy and as a male, we often overlook hormones, and in fact what I've explored or discovered, much rather, is that it directly impacts us gents, and it's really important to know some of the bare minimal basics, the 101s, and even if you just understand it from a fundamental level, there's a real way for you to step in and support your partner. What are your thoughts on that, Audrey?
Yeah, great. I think there's so much more to men's hormones than I really know. I think in our heads it's just the testosterone and getting to the gym to build up that testosterone. But there's not so much more to look out for, just that basic foundational awareness is important so that you can even sustainably get to the gym to support your testosterone, right? Yeah,
super cool. So first part that I wanted to observe, Audrey, before jumping into any of the particular topics, is I've noticed that within our social circles, clients that we serve, have you found that there are a lot of surface level things that show up in the conversation when it comes to health that are directly caused by the imbalance of hormones? And do you find it fascinating how regularly you're having this conversation?
Yeah, it comes up in different ways. Like someone's always complaining about one thing that they're struggling with in their day-to-day life, and it might be what that might look like for you is something as simple as my hair, it's not how it used to be, or my skin, it doesn't look like it used to be. It doesn't glow. There's no, vibrancy in that. Or it could be just, I'm so moody. I'm so angry. I'm frustrated. Don't get on my nerves. There's so many that like a plethora of symptoms that we could observe and notice every day that might be caused by hormone imbalance, right? Yeah, so it happens quite often.
So it's a great conversation to have when it comes to hormones. The first question that I wanted to focus on and directly ask Audrey would be if we could talk about why it's important to prioritize hormone balance. Just unpack that a little bit. Go for it.
Yeah, why is it important? Well, first, what are hormones? Why is it so important that we prioritize it? So what I understand hormones to be, they're like chemical messengers that your body, your brain, your endocrine glands, your reproductive system, your hormonal system creates these chemical messengers that move through your bloodstream and attaches to the cell receptor sites and communicates with various parts of these cells so that we can then create and create hormones, create a physiological effect in our body to regulate all these many, many, many different physiological functions that our body has. So some of these could be even as basic as being able to sleep properly, sleep soundly, because we need melatonin to help regulate sleep. It could be just regulating your emotions day to day, your stress levels, and balancing out that cortisol. It could be your metabolism, right? So there's so many functions of the body that is dependent upon your hormones. And not to mention your reproductive system, your libido, your sex hormones that you need just to look and feel and be a healthy human being, right?
So further to that, I want to talk about how did we get here? What have you observed, and why do you think that we're having more and more conversations around hormone balance and also libido and fertility? Where did this all begin, and what was the main shift in society, do you think?
Right. So why are we talking about hormones? Why is it so important in society today? I mean, there's so much hormone imbalance. It's crazy. Other than the normal stuff that we experience, like puberty or pregnancy or menopause, these are very normal, natural processes that we go through in life that creates temporary hormone imbalance. We actually have a lot of unnatural chronic hormone imbalance, or hormone imbalance that leads to chronic issues later on. So things that are in our environment that are not natural, that is creating an imbalance in our body, is causing our hormones to go out of whack. And when our hormones go out of whack, we experience all kinds of displeasure, discomforts, dis-ease, which then lead to a lot of other problems down the track. So things in our environment might include, we call them endocrine disruptors, or xenoestrogens, which is a big factor that I want to address today. And these are these dangerous toxic chemicals that mimic natural estrogen in your body and causes especially women to have estrogen dominance and an imbalance in their hormones, the ratios of progesterone to estrogen. That's the problem we experience. There's so many other things like long-term medication, stress levels at work. All these are really prevalent these days in a modern lifestyle that we have. What you eat, because we don't have time to cook a healthy meal, so we grab whatever's convenient but tends to be unhealthy for us. That can have ingredients that are not good for us and cause hormone imbalance as well.
Yeah, that's great. So to summarize, some of the key factors that you believe are generating a cause, or what the evidence is pointing towards, is it's both environmental, there's diet, there the new stress level, a modern lifestyle. From what I've seen too is like as we begin to have more technology and almost like complexity to our life, it fundamentally changes our ability just to be in nature, just to see the simplicity and the presence and the love of what it brings and offers. I had the other week I went over to a really good friend of mine, and she is backed onto a park, and just walking underneath the trees and being in the sun. It was this euphoria, I would say. Euphoria. You felt that the nervous system could almost regulate itself, that it understood what it was seeing. For me, I've noticed when I'm fasting and meditating and doing my thing and breathing, I've noticed that when I stare at nature, like just the color green and the color of the leaves and the presence of the forest or the trees, something happens in my eyes where my brow relaxes, my entire body just settles. So
Yeah, that's interesting.
finding when things are more complicated and moving fast at a fast speed, just to underscore, I guess, the stress factor in the modern lifestyle,
Yeah.
that has a lot to do with my hormones.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's how they came up with the saying, stop and smell the roses, right? Just stop, pause, take a break, smell a rose, smell a flower. Like, where did that originate from? Why does it feel so good to smell a rose? So there's, a chemical reason for that, a scientific reason for that.
Yeah. So I'm going to move over to the next question for you that's on my heart, and that would be, what are some of the common symptoms of hormone imbalance? What do you hear people say, or what kind of comes up that gives you clues or hints as to the base being hormone production, hormone imbalance, support around the hormone levels? Go for it. Let me know what your thoughts
There's
are.
so many symptoms that are very commonly expressed by a lot of women, a lot of people, men too. But women, we have our monthly cycle, right? And so it should be a process of the body that we, feel beautiful experiencing. It's a natural part of the woman's monthly cycle to have that and to be aligned and to be in sync with the moon and with all your beautiful feminine friends out there. You know how women, if they gather together and stay together long enough, their cycles actually sync up. I thought that was really interesting. But when we have imbalanced hormones and we're out of balance with nature, we experience a lot of the symptoms that we shouldn't be experiencing, but we think it's natural and normal, like the pains, and the heavy bleeding, the irregularities, not even having a regular cycle. Some of the things that you would experience during that period of time, especially, are the mood swings. It can get crazy for some women. And we have an oil for that called dragon time, which is pretty good, by the way. But I wonder why it's called dragon time. Yeah, so that was...
So last night, just a quick little update here, right, while I can get my 2 cents in. She's going to continue to talk about the symptoms. Last night, I was a beautiful partner and I was massaging dragon time and mixed it with some coconut oil into the bottoms of her feet just to support her. Here are some of the little tips, guys, by the way, some brownie points that you can earn.
Points, big
So-
ones. And, I have pretty balanced hormones. I don't actually get very moody. I don't have swings. But these oils, these botanicals, these essences actually support you to maintain that balance. And so it's great to even start using it before you have your cycle. But to continue on with some of the other symptoms is you might experience fatigue, really heavy fatigue or lethargy, and you just don't have the energy to go about your day on a normal day-to-day. Again, like I mentioned, hair and skin changes, sleep problems, and changes in libido, obviously, because that's related to the reproductive organs and the reproductive hormones. So many things: headaches, migraines, memory problems, muscle joint pain, and so on, cardiovascular symptoms. But if you look it up, the list is super long when you have hormone imbalance. That's why it's important to bring it into our awareness, to be on top of it. Yeah.
Okay, so for the guys out there, some key things that I pay attention to is whether there is a little bit of a snap or a bite on the end of conversation or sentences. Confusion is a big one for me, like noticing whether your partner or friends around you are often trying to re-clarify and get confused as to what they were doing. That's another big indicator for me that I've noticed just being in a relationship. Some other areas here would be a lot of silence and a lot of alone time, up and down roller coaster.
Moodiness.
Moodiness.
But also for men, when they don't have enough testosterone, it's the libido, right? It's the libido, being able to enjoy normal, healthy sexual function.
It was really funny because we had good friends over I think it was yesterday or the day before, and they were looking at wow, all these amazing essential oils that you've got on. Yeah, and I go, yeah, we've also got a class coming up on libido. And they go, libido, essential oils? What are you talking about,
You
dude?
would put one and one together.
These are some other guy mates that we have. And I go, yeah. Funnily enough, the essential oil is called golden rod, and it, like, everyone burst out in laughter. But the signs of nature and the funny name that we have there, but the thing is when you start to work with essential oils, it supports all of these areas. So, guys, there's something there for you.
And we have some guy clients in our community that they love goldenrod. Like, it's one of the best sellers amongst the men. Enough said. Anyway, there's other oils I want to touch upon as well when we get to that, as to which ones can support men and which ones can support women. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So again, we're going to touch on some of the main causes. I think we've already spoken about the environmental. This came up for me. There's medication, endocrine disruptors, life stages. What are some other areas or notes that you wanted to talk? It's really important to just identify.
Mostly it's the ones that you don't notice in your environment that we have to be extremely aware of. And to touch more upon the endocrine disruptors, I think it's very important. The xenoestrogens, they're found in very common household cleaners, and even in like fire retardants, in your curtains, in your furniture. They're found in personal care products. A lot of these contain synthetic man-made chemicals that have not actually been tested as safe, right? There's a loophole in regulation where a lot of chemicals do reach the shelves without being passed or tested for safety. And it's everywhere. It's in everything. So my rule of thumb is, is basically, if I'm reducing the number of chemical exposure in my environment, like using less and less of these store-bought products and going more to just natural remedies or natural, like, essential oils to create all my products, then I'm actually exposing myself less to all these endocrine disruptors. It's also found in phthalates and, plastics. So you can easily Google the Dirty Dozen or even just endocrine disruptors and really get an idea and feel of where to look out for these chemicals. But like I said, for every chemical I've removed from my house and from my bathroom, it's just better for my body. Yeah.
Wanted to quickly highlight that on our website we have a blog dedicated about all of the toxins and chemicals inside of your home. We have on that blog about a 20-minute video of us having a conversation about it, but also we've written the blog in a way where you can understand very quickly toxins, understand bioaccumulation, exposure, where to start, how to start to change things in the household. So that's there for you, titled around chemicals and toxins, living a low-tox lifestyle.
Yep.
So that one's there for you as well.
Yep.
Anything else, Audrey?
Well, just probably cover a little bit more about why and how the essential oils work. But essentially, by using essential oils which have natural phytoestrogens in there, which we might unpack a little bit in the next question, you're actually supporting, protecting your cell receptor sites. And then by protecting it, you're actually not allowing xenoestrogens or endocrine disruptors to attach themselves to your cell receptor site. They mimic estrogen, they mimic what is natural, and they trick your body into allowing it to receive it. And that just completely just creates a domino effect, in the body system.
Cool.
Yep.
That's great. So let's get into how we can use essential oils to help us achieve more balance in our life when it comes to these issues.
Yeah, so how can essential oils really help us to achieve more balance hormonally? And one of the major areas, which is so obvious with aromatherapy, is the stress regulation. Managing your stress levels, your cortisol levels, managing your emotions, regulating your emotions on a daily basis can make a huge difference in the long term, right? So every little attempt or little effort that you make every day is going to add up big time. So that's one approach. It's through your emotions, right? If your emotions are out of whack, if you're feeling moody, if you're feeling stressed, then that's really going to hinder or affect your hormone regulation. The other way we can do that is obviously with essential oils that support the endocrine system, that have phytoestrogens in their natural estrogen molecules. Now, a lot of people think that, well, what if I use too much essential oil? Will I have estrogen dominance? No. Essential oils are adaptogenic. They allow your body to balance. It doesn't go over. It doesn't go over. And it uses what it needs and expels the rest naturally. Right? So phytoestrogens are natural estrogens found in certain botanicals that are distilled into these bottles, and they attach themselves to your cell receptor sites, and that then communicates to your body to produce hormones naturally. Yeah, so that's the other way to balance your hormones. Obviously, there are very specific oils too for sleep to improve melatonin production. There's importantly your gut health, because gut health is everything. It's related to your immune system. It's also related to how you feel, right? Your mood. Certain chemicals are produced in your gut that actually helps develop, like, supports in your metabolism and in how you feel as a person every day. Like, I think it's serotonin. Yeah.
What I'm present with right now and what's coming through as I listen to you is that it seems to me that if we're wanting to achieve or move through some of the causes, first part is just the awareness of the causes.
Yeah. And eliminating those.
And the second part here is once you've got the awareness, it's almost like you're one step away from balancing your hormones.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier to balance when you've eliminated all the culprits, right?
Right. So you've got a two-pronged attack here where there's the elimination and then adding on one extra thing. So for me, I've been lucky enough to live in a house where everything's been pretty much eliminated. There is none of the extra things that we're talking about in terms of cause for the environment, the diet, modern lifestyle and everyday products. All of that's been zeroed out. So there's no influence there. Elimination step tick.
Yeah.
For me, what I've found in terms of being one step away from balanced hormones would be the sleep, actually. I'm noticing as you're going through the list, if I was to do one thing here, the one thing for me was the sleep. And every time now, as soon as I diffuse lavender or some of the oils that we put on, I have the deepest sleep. It's the highest quality.
Yeah.
And I wake up just naturally happy and ready to start my day.
It's just so simple, because when you're diffusing the oils, they go straight to your limbic brain within seconds. And that part of the brain, that system, is in charge of sleep, right? Sleep, emotions, and all these other functions of the body.
And I suppose that would be the same for others, just depending on how you would look at your lifestyle and yourself. So some of the areas that you can add on here that Audrey listed was stress relief, number one, or which could be around the emotional support. Regulating hormones would be around the endocrine system you could look at, or you could look at oil specific for libido. We've got improved sleep or gut health. So depending on where you're at, it might
It's
just
a good place to start those areas.
Yeah, your +1 in your lifestyle could be gut health, it could be sleep, or it could be addressing the stress, which is come see me for the breathing aspect of things.
And obviously the oils to support female reproductive system, their monthly cycle.
So to me, it's starting to become clearer that we're one step away from having a balanced hormone system.
Yeah, that's right. Like with anything, there's no point going to the gym if you're eating a crappy diet. So the same case goes with balancing your hormones. You really have to get rid of the big culprits, the big things, which are mostly the endocrine disruptors, the chemicals, and the stress that you might be under. Starting there is going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
Okay, Audrey. So for the listeners in the audience and for those listening on Spotify to the podcast, we've spoken about the cause. We've spoken about why it's important to balance our hormones. We've spoken about some of the symptoms or the effects that it have on our everyday life. And we've spoken about some of the things to eliminate and one step away, one extra thing that you could add on or focus on. So how about you tell me a little bit more about essential oils? What is the key what's the key features of essential oils that make them so effective in balancing hormones?
How do I distill this? Let's distill some essential oil knowledge. Well, first of all, they are, like I mentioned, their nature, right? They are actually been living in symbiotic relationship with humans for a long time, and they naturally contain phytoestrogens to support hormone regulation. They're special. They have different shapes. They have hundreds of very complex chemical components or constituents in them with multiple different shapes to it. And they fit into our cell receptor sites like a lock and key. Man cannot replicate anything close to that, right? So starting early on an essential oil protocol with pure, untainted essential oils, like the ones we've chosen, which is Young Living, starting there is really going to help you have a very regulated, balanced day long term. You want to, avoid waiting until it's too late and then having to outsource your power to somebody who's going to have to give you a diagnosis, and a medication. So it's about just keeping the body above the wellness line from a very early stage, right? But other than that, it's the speed at which your body uptakes essential oils, right? It's the ability for it to communicate with your neurons, with your limbic brain, with your system. And if the essential oils, excuse me, if they're genetically modified and if they've been sprayed with pesticides, these crops, and they're distilled and put into a bottle, it's going to do just as much harm as you not using something that's toxic from the shelf. So you really need to be aware of the source of your oils. You need to know how they're created, what's in them, what else was distilled in potent form into that bottle. There shouldn't be anything but essential oil constituents. I think other than that, there's the synergy as well. So some of these blends that we have is a synergistic blend. There's more than one botanical in them. And the synergy of it is what makes it beautiful, and it creates harmony in your body. It addresses not just the biochemical nature of your body, but it also addresses the emotional aspect of your body. That's what's beautiful about the oils. It's so versatile and has multiple uses. When you use a few drops, it does so many things. It addresses so many things.
Yeah, well, so just to summarize why essential oils are so powerful when it comes to hormones. Number one, you said nature, and you went into the shapes of chemistry, the purity of it, and the phytoestrogens. Yeah. Number two, you went over the speed of delivery, how small essential oils are and how quickly it moves through the body. It's fast acting. And then you also covered the quality, like the source and understanding the distillation process and whether there's anything extra in terms of synthetic. Are they trying to replicate just the scent, or does it come with the full blueprint of Mother Nature?
Right. Yep. I think because, a lot of people don't think that it's possible to achieve certain wellness standards in your body when it comes to essential oils, because, it's 98%, if not more, of essential oils in the market are made for a different purpose. They're not made for therapeutic benefits. They're made for a different industry, a fragrance industry or cosmetic industry, or just, generic smell good, aroma diffused in your house. It does not contain all the compounds that it should contain to create the effect that it's supposed to create in your body. So when you have so many, 98%, something like that, some crazy figure like that, where the oils don't have the therapeutic compounds that it's supposed to have, that's why most people would never get to experience that balance, that harmony in their body, because it's so hard to locate a good source, a good quality.
So overall, because of all these factors, we are able to achieve the synergy and the harmony, and it points to as to why essential oils are so versatile as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Super cool. So before we transition over to the last parts of today's podcast, we're going to be sharing essential oils on the back end, giving some specific tips. I want to share with you an opportunity to be a part of, I would say, a product that has changed my life in a way that was long-term and super sneaky in terms of, like, I started with just using simply lavender, and then all of a sudden I built a vocabulary of essential oils. Now, that is called the Premium Starter Kit. And the reason why I want to talk about the Premium Starter Kit is because the issue or the problem that I had was that when I got my 12 essential oils, right, got delivered to my door, I was raised on lavender, so I knew how to apply it. But there were another 11 essential oils that, without any actual training, I was unable to really use these oils effectively in all the other areas of my body. So what we decided to do is we decided to put together a masterclass. And that masterclass, if I was to share my screen right now, is share screen is here.
Very excited about this one, guys.
So this masterclass, feel free to go to www.ascensionacademy.au/workshops. Visit our main website or workshop. Yep. And the masterclass is titled How to Instantly Comprehend, Communicate and Use Essential Oils as a Therapist. We're talking at the therapist level, right? Without years of training. So if you're the type of person that's a stay-at-home mum, if you're taking care of a family that requires consistent health check-ins, right, to keep them above the wellness line, if you're a therapist that has holistic practice and you're wanting to upgrade very quickly and instantly in one call, your understanding of essential oils, how to communicate, how to use it practically, then boy, is this the class for you. This masterclass covers the 3 key secrets on how to understand these essential oils. You know, with all of the years of training that Audrey has gone through, right? What is it? How many
It's
years?
a deep rabbit hole. About 8 years of just research, training, learning new ways to use it practically, attending courses with different specialists that use, I mean, there's so many angles to using essential oils. Yeah.
We had to sit down and she had to show me all of her books and break down or almost distill from these library of books just the fundamental keys. I wanted to understand these are the 3 secrets, so that if I got that, if I could comprehend it, then I could instantly communicate and use and practically apply essential oils.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because I learned from, doctors, I learned from pharmacists, I learned from scientists and essential oil aromatherapist specialists and psychologists. But fundamentally, it all comes back down to the basics of really getting to know your oils and why they work and how they work in the human body. They're 3 secrets to why they're so effective in your body.
So we're going to be running this class probably once or twice a year, and that's why it's the opportunity of a lifetime, because we don't get much time or availability. We're unable to be with a group of people to really get down to these basics. So I'd like to invite you. Right now, there are only 10 more seats. Is it 10?
10 or less. Yep.
Okay, now there is one more day left over. If you're watching live, feel free to go to the website, register there. If you're listening to the replay, I've got something for you too, because after this masterclass, we're giving another masterclass on Ningxia wolfberries, which is another phenomenal topic to talk about when it comes to health and wellness, oxidation levels and longevity, vitality overall. So that's what I wanted to talk about right now for a moment before we start to share and get into the depth of essential oils.
Share how we use them, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I want to first find out what are some ways in which you use essential oils on a daily basis to support your hormones. Go for it.
So what's really important, especially for women, is your progesterone levels. You can go and get your hormones tested with your doctor and see what your levels are like. But generally speaking, as we age, we do experience a big dip in levels of progesterone. So I use this natural wild yam essence, which creates to elevate your progesterone levels naturally, and it's in some vitamin E. And what's beautiful about this, it was actually formulated by a doctor who specializes in this area. But what is very unique about this, it is also infused with essential oils. And if you didn't know the relevance or the importance of that, it increases bioavailability, the uptake. So the essential oils help to carry the phytoestrogens, or rather the progesterone serum, into your cells. So essential oils actually makes it more bioactive. And obviously there's also chemical benefits as well from each of these oils in here, which are cedarwood, bergamot, peppermint, clove. And I know clove and frankincense, sacred frankincense, and copaiba. So there's a bunch of oils in there. I love that. I use that every day, almost every day. You can follow a chart. I have a chart here that tells you on a women's cycle when your progesterone is low, usually day 1 to 14. So you use that. It's really easy. You just use it on your pulse points, inner arm, inner ankles. I even use it as a face serum. So you get the moisturizing as well. And you're getting the aroma molecules to benefit your limbic brain as well. So that's very important for women. And the other thing is I use a blend here which has clary sage, and clary sage for women is great for balancing estrogen levels. It's called sclerescence. I also use lady sclareol, and that's also a synergy of many, many botanicals in there with many phytoestrogens. It's a beautiful oil, and I actually use this to replace deodorant. Smells good, but not only does it smell good, it actually has a purpose, right, in your body.
Just on that point, yeah, it does smell really nice. But another big one that I want to call out is deodorant perfumes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a huge part of what's happening with hormones.
Especially with anything that has heavy metals in there. And I remember when I stopped using deodorant about 10 years ago, there was a problem with, having aluminium inside deodorants. And again, like I said, many things are not tested for safety before they launch them into the market. So anything toxic and you're placing it under your arms where your lymph nodes are, it's really, really toxic. And my mum, developed breast cancer. And I wouldn't be surprised if a majority of that came from her antiperspirants, the chemicals she used around her breast, right? Perfumes, she sprayed a lot of perfume here. Perfumes made of fragrances, which contains hundreds of chemical compounds made by man that is very toxic to your endocrine system. And yeah.
All of these are basics, by the way. Like you've most likely you should have already heard this. This is bare minimal information already out there. It's available, yet for some reason people still use it.
Because it's still sold. And so people just assume, it must be safe if it's still being sold, or they just isn't their priority. And I think too,
that's
okay.
Because you've got a story behind it and an experience. So that was what made you instantly change.
Yeah. The story is my mom, and she was the catalyst for me to really go hardcore in the other direction. And that's just human nature. We all have to go through an experience or something that is a catalyst for change, right? And for me, it was my mum being sick and losing her to cancer that led me down that rabbit hole to explore other ways, other natural means to support your health, to support your stress levels, because she was extremely stressed as well with work.
So again, gents, for the men out there, what the ladies are using, or what my lady is using, is Lady Sclareol, Progescence Plus is what you call it, and the other one was Sclerescence. I don't smell them myself for fear of becoming a little bit too soft, so I try to stay away from them.
Remember, these are natural compounds. Although you don't have to. Yes, men should not use these, but nothing drastic will happen. You won't turn into like a dragon. And then we have Endoflex as a favorite of mine. This is to support the endocrine system as well, and I use this directly over my thyroid glands. Really great. I have a lot of success with this, and I have a lot of customers and friends who use this with great success. They've really noticed a huge difference in the regulation of their hormones through this one. And we have a wide range of other blends and botanical essential oils with phytoestrogens, and this one in particular called Joy. I mean, it must be called Joy for a reason. So I love dropping this from a distance above the crown of my head. Before I head out the door, I just open the bottle and drop one drop, and then I just rub it into the scalp and walk out the door, and it just lasts the entire day. Like, you really don't need toxic fragrances and perfumes. And that really supports your emotions, right? And there's some great stories behind that I want to share another day.
In complete transparency, we could do an entire podcast or an entire class just on joy, the essential oil itself.
It's amazing.
But right now we're just reapplying it to hormones and how this blend has some of the same typical botanicals, plants or chemicals that support the hormones, and that's why Audrey's bringing it up.
Yeah, and this is just a snippet because I could keep going on and on. But this is a good one for men. It's called Shutran, and it has a blend of oils that really support masculinity. So that's something that you use, don't you?
What this reminds me of,
What?
my dad used to shave, and I used to always smell his aftershave. It was the green bottle Brute. Was it Brute? I think it was.
know that. I think
Brute.
my dad had that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he used to always shave. Now, this, although it doesn't smell exactly like Brute, but it's very close. So you could,
It's pretty strong
it's
for you.
very strong. You
goes
can
a
mix
long
it with
way.
your shaving cream. So I normally buy like a very natural Dr. Bronner's shaving cream, and I mix it in with an essential oil.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then you get that scent as well. But this as a cologne or an aftershave is phenomenal.
I mean, you can put this stuff in your hair. If you have a beard, you can diffuse your essential oils inside of your beard. So you could literally just go like this in your hand. Like how many, you can't buy product. If you buy beard oil out there, what do you can only use it for your beard, right? But if you use essential oils, you could literally use it for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still working on the beard. I just got to keep using these masculine essential oils.
Yeah, and it probably has goldenrod in there. Who knows? But yeah, and there's another one called Mister, which is great. But really, it's very, very simple to apply.
I think what's coming up for me is the versatility that I'm
Yeah.
working on my hormones as I'm shaving, as I'm applying a cologne, as I'm using an aftershave. Like for an aftershave, like after I shave, one drop of this, one drop of peppermint in combination with like a triple distilled vodka as a spray, that would be the perfect aftershave to keep it nice and clean afterwards. So yeah, that for me is phenomenal when it comes to Sutron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all I got for the men's one. Mr. Shutran, goldenrod. There's blue spruce. Blue spruce is phenomenal for helping support male testosterone levels.
Yeah. Now, I don't need any support with testosterone levels. However, I will say that I've developed a great relationship with blue spruce. In fact, I can just smell it now, and whenever I have the scent enter my brain, the body instantly remembers without any actual application,
Right.
and I am able to enjoy the benefits in my relationship.
Thank you for sharing. But that's the phenomenal thing about the aroma of essential oils. It evokes the memory of, right? And yeah, there's so much to it. And it also has all these other capabilities. It really, not only are you eliminating the use of the toxic chemicals in your bathroom, but you're enhancing your body's natural functions. Yeah, that's right.
Great. That's great. I do want to mention as well, now that it's coming up, that we are giving a class, and this is to members only, strictly on hormones, blending, mixing, and
Yep,
showing
we've
them
got
how to create all of this. And that one's going to be limited to something like 20 people because we just have to focus on the 20 to support them with the blending aspect of
We
things.
like it small and
And intimate like that. So yeah, that's what we wanted to cover today. I'd love to hear some questions if you're inside of the comments. I know there are some people that have enjoyed diffusing joy, also using lavender for sleep. Are there any other key areas that you wanted to cover today, Audrey?
I think understanding as well, women, we have to be particular about using these oils consistently. Consistency is key, and it's about not just the level of progesterone or the level of estrogen. The key here is getting the ratio correct, right? And that will happen very naturally with the use of the essential oils, provided you're not on anything that might be blocking the oils or making it more difficult. Like I said, the lifestyle, environmental factors, medication, existing conditions and all that. Definitely speak to your healthcare provider. But I am here. You can reach me for anything that's more in-depth that you need on the application of essential oils. Yeah.
Thanks so much for today's conversation, Audrey. I'm definitely learning more and more every day. And I appreciate the support. And I hope everybody else in the audience have enjoyed today's podcast and the topics that we've covered. We have some more podcasts loaded and ready to go moving forward. We're really excited for that. And again, thank you again for listening. Today's topic was on balance your hormones and ignite your libido naturally. I'm signing out. My name is Tumai.
And I'm Audrey.
Thanks,
See you then.
everybody.
Not a little, 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 not a little.